Now I'm at the bus station, the southern bus station in Guatemala City. I got an Uber from Zone 10, Zona 10, where I've been living, which is a very modern part of Guatemala City, and down here to the bus station where I am right now. And I found the bus, and the bus driver, he took my suitcase and just put it on the top of his head and crawled up on top of the bus. And I was very, very impressed, because when I'm not flying, I just fill stuff in my suitcase, so it's heavy. It's around 25 kilos, I think, to get up there. But as you can hear, I'm at this noisy bus station, and I'm about to get on this very colorful bus to go to my next destination, down to Lake Atitlán. And I'm really, really looking forward to that. I don't know how long the bus drive is. My Uber driver said it's probably around 4 hours. But yeah, I'm about to go there, and looking forward to the next adventure.
Meet Palle Bo, a full-time traveler and digital nomad from Denmark on an epic journey around the world. This is The Radio Vagabond.
As you heard in the episode with Siobhan a little over a week ago, we got to know each other when she was organizing the online summit called Digital Nomads Beyond 50, where I was one of the speakers. And one of the other speakers was an American writer that also worked in radio for many years. His name is Andrés, and now I meet him in real life for the first time.
Welcome. Thank you. Hi. See you in real life, not on the screen. That's right. Yeah. Here in Casa Calcig. Casa Calcig. Yeah. San Lucas Tolimán. Perfect. But here, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so happy to be here.
At the moment, he is writing a book, or should I say a literary project, because it's so much more than just a book. And actually, Andrés likes to call it the book that's writing him. He's living in San Lucas Tolimán on Lake Atitlán in Guatemala. Here he's running a small guest house, and when I knew that I was going to Guatemala, I decided to come and spend some time here. Quickly, we connected, and I feel I've made a friend for life.
Coming up later in this episode.
Here in Atitlán, if a woman she cannot use the stone, she cannot marry.
Okay. That's the test.
Yeah.
Are you ready to get married? Can you do the grinding?
Yeah.
This is The Radio Vagabond Podcast.
Whenever I need a place to stay, I go to this website called hotels25.com. It looks like any other hotel search site, like hotels.com, Agoda, Expedia. You can put in different filters of what you're looking for and sort the results as you like. Where this is different is that it searches Expedia, Agoda, hotels.com, and more than 15 other hotel search sites at the same time in one simple search. What a lot of people don't know is that the exact same room can be cheaper on one site than on the other. You just don't know which one. But hotels25.com knows. I use it all the time, and that's one of the ways I'm able to get the best deals quickly and easily. Again, hotels25.com.
I made it to San Lucas Tolimán. Just as I got off the bus, I was dropped off at a marketplace. A little street with a lot of exciting markets, but all I could think was, I need to find a bathroom. Because, note to self, don't have 5 or 6 cups of coffee before getting on a 3.5-hour bus ride on bumpy roads where it's not possible to make a stop anywhere. But I managed to get to the place, get to my room, and then I am now a relieved new man, and I'm about to go back out to just check out what I was missing before, because I couldn't really think much. It really looks nice. What you're hearing in the background are tuk-tuks driving past me.
San Lucas Tolimán is a small town of 17,000 people. It sits on the southeastern shore of Lake Atitlán, Lago de Atitlán. There are 11 towns and villages around the lake, and to visit them, the best way is to get on a small boat, a lancha. It's cheap and by far the fastest way.
You can get to know the lake really well by going around on the water.
Yeah, and fairly cheap as well. 20 quetzales per person. It's like a bit more than about $3.
About $3. Yeah, not bad. And that's what most of the trips cost. And you can get even for that price all the way to Panajachel.
Oh.
Yeah, and then from Panajachel you can go to most of the other villages. And of course, Katzich loves this place. Our beloved dog over here, our beloved four-legged. She loves coming here and
I have a feeling that everybody knows her.
They all do, all around the lake. Especially in San Lucas, but even around the lake, she's getting quite a reputation. Yeah.
A few days later, on a beautiful Sunday, Siobhan would join us at the little nomad community here in San Lucas. She would arrive by bus from the airport in Guatemala City later in the afternoon. And since she would end up in Panajachel on the other side of the lake, we went to pick her up and decided to make a day of it, visiting a few other places on the eastern shore of the lake, together with his dog, Kachik, who follows him everywhere. We jumped on a lancha.
So this is a typical Sunday here in Tolimán, and we saw the Sunday market and bustling and people coming out of the church for Sunday morning, and then down here at the lake, there are even people swimming in the lake.
That's right. This is one of the days when the people have just a little bit of leisure time. Most of the time they're working, but they come with their families here to the lake and hang out. And just enjoy one another's company and have some food and a drink, and just to get to enjoy beautiful nature that is around here.
Yeah, isn't it cold, the water? Because we're quite a bit above sea level.
Yes, it is somewhat cold, but not overly so. And there are, in fact, a couple places around the lake where there are geothermal baths. Yeah, they're quite small, but you can still feel the heat. And
I guess that's the volcanoes in the area that creates that.
That's right. It's basically the seismic activity coming to the surface, and in this case by heating the water. But also, now none of the volcanoes around here are active. There is the active volcano, of course, Volcán Pacaya, not too far from the capital. And there you can climb it, and you can get really, really close even to the lava itself. It's pretty amazing.
Do you get earthquakes in this area?
There are earthquakes in Guatemala and throughout Central America. I believe it can be considered part of the circle of fire around the Pacific Ocean. And there have been some devastating earthquakes, of course, in Mexico and El Salvador, and some in Guatemala, but not as hard.
No. And we're here waiting for a boat in about 10 minutes. And where is it again that we're going today?
Today we're leaving San Lucas Tolimán, and we are traveling to the next village over, which is called San Antonio Palopo. And right next to that is Santa Catarina. When we land in San Antonio, we will visit the village a little bit, and then we can take a pickup truck taxi, standing up in the back of the pickup truck, and we can either stop in Santa Catarina, or depending on our timing, we'll just go straight to Panajachel.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Exciting excursion. Yay. And we're actually one of the reasons we're going. We're going to pick up a mutual friend that's going to arrive today.
That's right. We're going to see Siobhan, who is probably arriving to the airport right about now, and she's going to wait about an hour and a half or so, and then a shuttle will take her to Panajachel, and we'll pick her up there.
Yeah, great.
We'll be right back.
Have you ever wondered what the places in this podcast actually look like? I have. So I started following the Radio Vagabond on Instagram, simply by searching Radio Vagabond.
If you like this podcast, I'm sure you will love a podcast called Far From Home. It's produced by longtime radio producer Scott Gurian. He travels around the world to some extreme, faraway places.
People often say it's a small world, but as someone who's traveled a fair amount, I've come to realize that there are giant parts of the planet that most people never think about, and billions of stories they've never heard. I'm Scott Gurian, and on Far From Home, I visit some of those places and tell some of those stories as I venture to far-flung places, meeting fascinating people.
He told me that shortly before I called him, he had a vision that he was supposed to go to pick up a crystal star.
Immersing myself in different cultures.
In America, everyone smiles. They're trying to be nice and something like that. In Russia, if they don't want to smile, they don't smile.
And finding that the most interesting stories are often not the ones you'd expect.
This is what we've come to see. We came 15 million miles to see a light on a building.
Check out Far From Home wherever you get your podcasts and listen in as I continue wandering outside my comfort zone and maybe learn some new skills along the way.
You should make
I'm so bad at this.
This is The Radio Vagabond.
Our first stop is San Antonio, Palopo, a small town where they have a few cooperatives that Andrés wanted to show me. The first one is right here on the shore where the boat drops us off. It's a chocolate factory.
Here we make love and happiness and chocolate factory.
And I got to meet Elias, who takes me through the whole process.
Here in Guatemala have 3 places where cacao grow. In Guatemala, the cocoa tree called Árbol Cacahuatero. This is the Roma cacao.
Oh, it's big?
Yeah. In Guatemala also called Pocha. In Central America is Colombia. In Mazorca, same. When you open the fruit, in the side have 120 seeds. The seeds has a white pulp, similar of the picture. The white pulp called mucílago. The first step is fermenting. The fermenting is for 5 days or 8 days.
How do you do that? In the sun?
No, this is the sun is the second step.
Okay.
The first step is the fermenting.
But can you explain that?
The fermenting, it's we use boxes with banana leaf. Oh. The banana leaf produce natural yeast. The banana leaf have a white powder. It's natural yeast. 3 days after fermenting, the white pulp produce 70% alcohol. 70%. Guatemala, it's illegal. The 50%.
Really? From cocoa?
Yeah.
Oh,
the 50,
cacao.
it's good. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Do you want? Do you want both? Alcohol illegal?
I will go blind, but...
Yeah. The second step is the sun drying. Mm-hmm. The sun drying, it's for 5 days or 2 months, depend of the weather.
Yeah.
If you eat 12 or 15 seeds, it's similar of tequila shot.
Okay.
Do you want 15 or 35?
I had no idea.
Second step, looking. The third step is the roaster. The roaster, it's for 20-25 minutes. After roaster, we peel it. We separate the shell and the cacao nibs. Do you want to try? Yeah. This is the cacao nibs. This is the husk.
Yeah. So
this try. It's chocolate 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, can really taste it.
Yeah, and the husk, it's good to make chocolate tea. The chocolate tea, it's good for stomachache, for the muscle, for the headache.
Yeah.
And this is the cacao beans. The cacao nibs have a 55% cacao butter and 45 cacao powder. Mm-hmm. The ground in this stone, it's for 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. My grandmother to make chocolate in this stone. Yeah. Here in Atitlán, if a woman, she cannot use the stone, she cannot marry.
Okay. That's the test.
Yeah.
Are you ready to get married? Can you do the grinding?
Yeah.
And then Elias shows me how to grind the cacao.
This is the cacao nibs. And the more friction, it's more paste. Looking, this is arriba, abajo, abajo, arriba. Looking.
So you're grinding it right now on a stone, like it's really old-fashioned way of doing it, I guess.
You like the smell?
Yeah.
Very yummy, yummy.
Yeah.
Looking.
I ended up buying more than I actually needed. It was just too good. Some of it was some round chocolate bars with different flavors for making hot chocolate. Really yummy, yummy. After that, we walked around the city and also went into a small shop with a lot of textiles. This is part of a women's cooperative. Here I met Flor, who only speaks Spanish, so Andrés helps me translate.
So Flor, this is we're in a shop with a lot of textile.
Tienda con mucho tejido.
And this is a part of a women's cooperative.
Cooperativa de mujeres.
How many women are in this?
Aquí nosotros trabajamos 16 mujeres. Cada mujer hace su producto.
So each woman does their own product, and there are 16 of us, 16 are part of the cooperative.
Pues, por ejemplo, una familia produce solo camisas.
So one family just works on the shirts.
Y la otra familia se encarga de hacer las mochilas.
Another family works on the backpacks.
Nosotras, en mi familia, hacemos los trajes típicos.
In my family, we work on the typical attire.
Yeah.
Y otra familia hace los ponchitos que tenemos aquí.
Another family works on the ponchos that you see here.
Y otra familia hace lo que son estos centros de mesa, que todos son puro elaborados a mano.
And these are table runners that are made all by hand.
It's made on the loom, and it's so beautiful, so many details.
Sí, nosotros tenemos dos tipos de telares.
We have two kinds of loom.
El telar de cintura,
The belt loom.
solo una prenda.
Basically, that loom basically can allow us to make one tablecloth.
How long time does it make to make one of these?
¿Y cuánto tiempo significa
Son,
hacer uno?
En el telar de cintura nos tardamos 3 semanas solo por uno.
On our belt loom, it will take us about 3 weeks just for one of them.
3 weeks, so full working days, 8 hours a day.
Como 8 horas por día. ¿verdad?
Así es.
Por 3 semanas, yeah, that's right.
And how much do they sell for?
¿Y por qué es el precio? ¿Cuánto se vende?
Más o menos.
El precio nosotros lo pedimos 250, pero con negociable.
So we're asking for 250 quetzales, but it's negotiable.
Yeah.
So it's 250 cents.
Around $30.
Around $30.
But that's not a lot for 3 weeks of work.
No es mucho por trabajar 3 semanas. O sea, se trabaja tanto y se gana muy poco.
Sí, pero como con el tiempo que estamos, entonces no tenemos... no podemos aumentarle más porque entendemos también que ellos viajan, entonces invierten lo que es en habitaciones, en comida y en el viaje.
We've only been around for a short time, and we also have to take into account that those who come here to buy things have made great expense even to travel to get here, and your housing expenses, your travel expenses. So all of that is taken into account, and so that's why a lower price is offered.
Yeah, yeah.
Ahora lo que es el telar de pedales.
So there's a pedal loom as well.
En el telar de pedales, esto nos permite sacar 250 piezas a 300 porque es un poquito más rápido. Así es, pero es que como nosotros lo tejemos, pero sobre la misma tela lo tenemos que bordarlo a mano.
So the embroidery is always hand embroidered, and so that always takes so much more time.
Yeah.
That apart from whether the weaving is done with the loom or not.
And that's something the women can do at home, embroidery.
Y los precios son como 200 a 175. Es un poquito la diferencia.
The prices are from 200 to 275.
The shop is a bit tucked away in the small streets, and it can be hard to find. So they also go and sell their products on markets and in small pop-up shops at the harbor.
Gracias.
Sí, ok.
As planned, we did get a pickup truck taxi from Antonio Palopo to Santa Catarina Palopo, or as we started calling these two little towns, San Antonio Palopo and Santa Catarina Palopo.
So this is the place that's down, kind of interesting down this way. This is Santa Catarina.
Santa Catarina.
Yeah. Santa Catarina Palopo.
Okay.
And we've got all these little shops here that are quite little quaint shops, unlike what we have in San Lucas Tolimán.
As we're walking
Very
through
colorful
Santa Catarina
Yeah.
Palopo, we walk down a small street to the lake with an interesting market.
Wow. Esto es para mí, ¿verdad o no?
No, es
¿No?
para pequeño.
¿Qué precio tiene?
Vale 80, pero tiene rebajo.
Es rebaja, ¿verdad?
Sí.
And here we meet a little girl tending a shop selling something that looked like it could have been made by Flor and the other women in the Cooperativa.
Pero quizás en el futuro van a tener, ¿verdad?
Si quiere yo lo puedo ir a traer.
Usted puede,
Sí.
¿verdad?
Atitlán is one of the
Este-
most beautiful lakes I've ever seen. It's sparkling in the sunlight and surrounded by mountains and volcanoes covered with blooming wildflowers. It's in the Guatemalan highlands of the Sierra Madre mountain range, and we're 1,562 meters, 5,125 feet above sea level. Where we're standing in Santa Catarina Palopo, we can look across the lake to where we live in San Lucas Tolimán. And then we can also see 3 volcanoes, Volcán Atitlán, Volcán Tolimán, and further out to the right, Volcán San Pedro. And then we can see a big rock in Sierra de Ora, close to San Lucas Tolimán. And Andrés explains that there's a legend saying that this is the head of one of the volcanoes.
Where we live is right over there.
Yeah.
In that little bay there.
Yeah.
And the view to those 2 volcanoes, when you go up on what I'm building up high, you can see them really, really well.
Okay.
They're very, very close to San Lucas Tolimán. So the further one is called Atitlán, and this one closer to the lake is called Tolimán. And then there's a legend that says that there was a fight between Atitlán and Tolimán as gods, and Atitlán won and decapitated Tolimán. And the head of Tolimán ended up right there in the Cerro de Oro.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
head, they say, of the Tolimán volcano.
That's a decapitated volcano head.
Yeah. That's a yeah. And then over here is San Pedro.
San Pedro.
It's the San Pedro volcano. Yeah,
It's further away, but it looks bigger.
it's true. Yeah. And the top one over there, that's called Iquitiu.
Yeah.
And it's very close to San Lucas Tolimán.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But it's so funny. We can see the clouds.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like fog. It's really clouds.
those are really
right
clouds.
close to the lake, and
Yeah.
it's because we're actually quite high up. Is it 1,500 meters above sea level or around that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
About that.
Stunning.
So there are actually, look, you see those people over there?
Yeah.
They're close to what are some hot springs over there.
Oh yeah.
Now, they're not very hot, but you can feel it a little bit. And for some reason, that's where Mother Nature decided to let some of the geothermal energy come. Yeah.
Is it almost always like this, a little misty, a little cloudy, or do you get totally clear days?
Oh, we
as
get
well?
totally clear days,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah. Cloudless, total blue sky, cloudless days, yeah.
But not much change in the seasons, right?
That's right, except for the rain.
Okay.
That's why they call it. They say we're in winter, even though of course it's summer in the U.S. But the winter is related to the rain. The rainy season is
rainy season,
sort of associated with winter.
And then we continue to Panachel, or just Pana as they call it, a bit west and still on the northern part of the lake. Pana is known as the tourist town. It's a well-developed town with a lot of resources for both locals and expats. It has a perfect mix of natural beauty, resources, good prices, easy travel connections, and some of the best shopping in Guatemala. Also, there are plenty of tour agencies offering day trips and tours around the entire lake. It's here in Panachel we're meeting Siobhan in a few hours. And together we ask Andrés to tell us the story of how he ended up running an Airbnb guest house in San Lucas Tolimán in Guatemala. And since Andrés is a storyteller, we don't have time for that in this episode. So we're going to wrap it up in a few seconds. The good news is you get the episode with the story already tomorrow. And here's a clip.
We always knew that the love was real and we were always there for each other. And for the next 9 years, we had this beautiful, loving relationship. Sometimes we were lovers and sometimes we weren't. Sometimes I came to her house once and she said, Andrés, you're not thinking of spending the night here tonight, right? And I said, no, of course not. Of course not. Why would it have ever crossed my mind, you know?
My name is Paolo Poe, and I gotta keep moving. See you tomorrow.
Produced by RadioGuru.co.uk.